So I took the opportunity and I said, nice tail. So I love how some people in my life have absolutely no confidence in me as a person, okay? So, and that was made clear when their reaction was heard about me coming to the University of North Carolina, Asheville, which is by and large considered one of the most hippie liberal colleges in the country. And I'm here for it, right? But I don't exactly fit into that group of people, okay? I'm more of a center to right-leaning, pretty conservative guy. And whenever people heard that I was going to be, entering my third year of engineering at UNCA, they were like, oh, that's not going to go well. And I was like, my God, how little confidence do you guys have in me? But the first real experience where, I was confronted with, I want to say like the larger extent of blue-haired people that don't really go with the same society-driven views that I do was whenever I walked into one of the buildings. I was lost, of course, and in the wrong building. And I got onto the elevator, and there was a girl there with blue hair, dressed as an animal, with a tail hanging off the back of her belt, and face paint indicating that she was of the feline nature. And she looked at me, and the look on her face was more or less, yuck, it's like a clean-cut guy. And I looked at her, and I portrayed nothing on my face, because in that interaction, my opinion doesn't matter. But I'm standing there awkwardly with another one of my friends who's pretty clean-cut, and I decided to break the silence. Now, anytime you're confronted with a people that are different than you by some context, I've always found it best to be positive, right? Like non-judgmental. Let's not say shit to piss people off. That's just juvenile, right? So what I did is I found something about her that I could compliment, okay? Now, I'm big into the Renaissance fair scene, and she was wearing a tail, a fuzzy tail. My wife has a fuzzy tail, just like that. So I took the opportunity, and I said, nice tail. She reached down, grabbed the tail, looked at me, and her face of, yuck, who is this guy, changed, and a smile lit up her face. And she said, thank you. She asked me how I knew about tails, and I told her. My wife, Renaissance fair, garb, the whole thing. That interaction changed my dynamic, because now every single time that student sees me, they go out of their way to say hi, ask how my day's going, so on and so forth. It's brilliant from the aspect that if you just treat people decently, whether you agree with their lifestyle choices, your life will go so much easier. I will never dress up like an animal and walk around wearing a tail. I'll never dye my hair blue or red. I'm not going to do a lot of things. But what I will do all the time is treat people with respect. Now, about a week later, I go into the engineering department, and we've got this class that, I'll be honest with you, it's kicking my ass, okay? On my first test, which I just got back, I got a 50, all right? So I'm not doing that good on this computer engineering assembly language class. But one of the TAs that is in that class is a biological female that is transitioning to be a male. So they're trans. Now, the first time that I saw this individual, they were wearing a dress, and they had curly hair. So it stuck in my head, she. That was incorrect. Apparently, you're not supposed to make that assumption. It was a he. That's what they wanted to be called. Now listen, you can agree or you can disagree. But it doesn't make any difference. It's their life, right? And all I have to do is call people what they want to be called. Now, this got tricky because she was in my head, but what I needed to be saying was they or he, and I didn't. There's been like 3 or 4 times that I've screwed this up. Now I'm trying, okay, and I will immediately correct myself. But this person is probably the most helpful and knowledgeable person in this class. And all I had to do to get never-ending help from this person was be respectful to them about the choices that they made. Now, there's a whole bunch of people out there, and I've certainly heard this from people on, what they would describe as my side of the aisle, but I like to say I don't have a side of the aisle. But what I've heard them say is, well, I'm not gonna feed into their delusion, or, I'm not gonna call them what they want to be called just because it's what they want. Well, here's the deal. My name's James Butler. My full name is James Adrian Butler, and I don't like for people to call me Adrian. I also don't like for people to call me Jim or Jimmy. And when people make the assumption that because my name is James, that they can call me Jim or Jimmy or Jimbo or Jim Bob or any of the other Jim names that piss me off, I politely say, it's James. And they make the effort to call me exactly what I want to be called. It's the same thing. They want to be called they or he or she or it or whatever. It's just courtesy. And it's not your life, it's their life. And in my case, I'm the one that's soliciting them for help. I'm the one that needs their guidance in engineering class, or I'm gonna fail. I mean, I'm probably gonna fail anyway, but just being nice and respectful goes so far. So the takeaway from this is I am as far politically, socially, economically, just everything about me away from this particular group of people. But because I just treat people decently, we can get along. There's no need for there to be any disagreement. We're here to college to learn. It doesn't matter what you look like. Physics is still physics. Computer engineering is still computer engineering. Doesn't matter what color hair or what your pronouns are. And just FYI, if you have a problem with someone's pronouns, just use their name. You can always just use their name. In any event, I'm gonna get off here. I've rambled on for too long. Those are 2 of the very first interactions that I had at University of North Carolina, Asheville, which is a very liberal college, and what I have experienced with that and how I best, view it to move forward. And I will keep you guys updated on this little journey that I call college, and we'll see how everything turns out. I enjoyed making the video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. The best way for you to support the channel is obviously, please like and subscribe, share the video, interact with it in some way, but also go check out the merch store. Alrighty? You guys have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you later.